Hey YouTube family, it's your girl V the Notary. I hope you guys are doing great today, having a great day. I'm filming this on a weekend. It is snowing here in the DMV area, and so I just kind of been relaxing in the house and taking care of some things. But I want to talk to you guys today about the DC squatter. Okay, we're gonna get into that a little bit and just kind of give you my opinions on that. But before we get into that, you guys, if you have not already, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. You know how much I appreciate everybody's support. So if you could, at the minimum, subscribe, that would mean a lot. And like the video too. That's an easy way to support me. It throws me in the algorithm and it allows other people to find my channel. So please like and subscribe, okay? So if you're like me, you have been glued to this whole DC squatter case. It is with the young woman, Shadija Romero, I believe that is her name. And obviously, I'm very interested in this because I live in the District of Columbia. Okay, I live in DC. I am a homeowner in DC. I actually live about 10 minutes from the location, and so and I'm a realtor, so I've been glued to what has transpired. So I'm filming this on December 14th. As of today, I believe that the DC squatter, I shouldn't call it that, but that's what everybody's calling her. So she was officially evicted on the 12th, the 11th or the 12th, right? So this is really new, piping hot news. She just was evicted finally. And so because I live here, and because I have been, like, one of my goals for 2026 was to buy an investment property in DC, to rent out. And so I am rethinking that until, I don't know. I might want to buy in Virginia or Maryland. I'm rethinking that just because DC is, we're a district, we're not a state, right? But we are a pro-tenant area, right? And that's not a bad thing. However, some of these tenant laws are out of control, and this case has completely put a microscope on that and the importance of, like, some of this stuff needs to change, right? So really quickly, if you guys are not familiar, this is the case of Shadija Romero. She rented an Airbnb from, and I forget the lady's name, and shout out to her, the landlord, for being diligent and steadfast in getting this resolved and not being nasty about it. Like, every interview I saw her on, she wasn't nasty and rude or, disparaging towards Shadija. She just wanted her out of her place. Okay. But yeah, so this young lady, Shadija, she rented an Airbnb in February of this year, which was we're in December. She rented the Airbnb for her. She intended to stay for 30 days. And she, at the end of the, February, I guess she claimed that she had a fire or something at her residence. And then she, I guess, requested to stay longer. Or I don't know, I actually don't even know if she requested to stay longer. She ended up staying longer, but from the span, allegedly, from February up until now, she has not paid this woman. And I believe in DC, once even if it's a short-term, rental such as Airbnb, once you get past that 30-day mark, any type of, the person who's doing the short-term rental can now claim, like, tenancy. So, which is nuts, because if you are an Airbnb owner, that could be her only source of income. Like, we don't know this lady's situation. Now you are in my home trying to claim tenancy on my home, and I'm losing thousands of dollars every month. I don't know if y'all know what the mortgages are like in DC, but the cost of living is crazy here. It's not as bad as New York, but it's like right there. I mean, it's not uncommon for a 1,800 square foot row house it may not even be all that spectacular for your rent to be $4,000 and $5,000 a month, like for a 3-bedroom. So it's not cheap. And even if it was cheap, get out. But no, so she claimed that she was an actual, like, long-term tenant, And then, allegedly, again, this is all alleged. I don't even know I think we don't even need to say alleged at this point, because the judge found that at the end of the day, she was being dishonest. In some of her testimony, had to reiterate that she was under oath several times. She had been taking vacations and claiming that, she that claiming and lying and saying she had been paying, but she really wasn't paying. And all the while, the landlord could not get her out of her home. Shadija, if I'm not mistaken, took some of the like the water bill and the gas bill and the electricity bill, calling Pepco and stuff, putting stuff in her daughter's name, like that was really her house. And then it was just like the crocodile tears that this lady had was insane. Crying, claiming that she was the victim. I'm such a good person. The lady has some type of essential oils business. When she finally got evicted, she was like, they went in the house and some of the neighbors came and to help, which was amazing because it's freezing here in DC. I don't know, I mean, this December has been so cold. And they came and helped her and found out that she was running a whole business out of this lady's house. So the whole story is insane. But let me say this, y'all. So this story kind of like just sparked, I'm a research person. I'm like the person that watches like a serial killer documentary, and then I want to go research like all the people in the doc just to see what they're doing right now. That's me. So this took me down a squatter rabbit hole. And not just DC squatters, just squatters in the US in general. And like, this is like a thing, you guys. Like, again, we all know squatting is, it happens, right? And I think I told you guys about how I have shown a house and there was a squatter in there. So I am aware that it happens, but this is like it's a epidemic that is transpiring in the US, where people are, specifically with Airbnbs, they are using Airbnb to stay somewhere temporarily and then not leaving. And it's happening. And if you just like go on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, like it's insane. And so I know that a lot of states, there's certain states that are more favorable to landlords and tenants don't have as many rights, and there's some like DC where the tenants have more rights. And so I just want to say, I don't even know how this is even able. These laws are insanity. And so the good thing here in DC is I am seeing now they're researching and looking into creating legislation to make some changes, about these laws, because in my opinion, it needs to be equal footing, right? The landlords it needs to be fair for both parties. If it's not fair, what's really the purpose of renting out your house? If it's a very high probability that you can get screwed, because if you have a tenant that's just not a good person, or one that's not doesn't have morals and values, and they leave. You see tenants all the time tearing people's homes up. One of my friends that's a realtor, she's a property manager, she's posting all the time videos of tenants leaving mad or whatever and tearing up the house. Like, it's got to be some changes for the landlords, and it needs to be equal, it just needs to be equal protections. I'm by no means suggesting that tenants don't have rights too, right? Because you want to if you're renting a home, you want your landlord to be responsive. You want your landlord to ensure that things are working properly, that if the air goes out, they're going to come fix it. You want to make sure that your rights are being heard and protected as well. But for that lady to be able to move into her house, and then y'all, I don't know, she does this. Like, she had literally, she did this because she got evicted from another apartment off South Dakota Avenue. I don't know if y'all familiar with the Jameson. I used to live over in that area, right off South Dakota, right by the Costco. If you live in DC, you know what I'm talking about. She was going through, she owes them like $60,000. And I'm like calculating, I'm like, well, damn, how many months did you not pay? But it shouldn't be that. If at the point where you owe $60,000 in rent for an apartment that's $3,000, that's not acceptable for the rent and the fees to be able to accumulate that high, and you're still living in the home. That's nuts. And so there needs to be some changes specifically in DC with the laws, because your girl's probably not going to buy an investment property in DC. No, no, ma'am. Not with these laws. I'm going to have to consider Maryland, Silver Spring or something, PG County somewhere. And Maryland kind of is a little shaky too. They're a little more tenant leaning too, but Maryland's not as bad as DC. DC is terrible. I don't know. DC might be the worst in the country. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts about that. I thought was like glued to this story because the injustice that this woman has gone through has been immense. And I just pray and hope that, hopefully she can do some interviews, write a book or something where she can recoup that money. Hopefully I haven't seen if she has like a GoFundMe. I'm certainly would like to donate. If I see her GoFundMe around, I'm going to post it here, because that was just unacceptable for her to have to go through that. And then she has her own bills, and she has a mortgage wherever she lives. She probably has children or whatever. She could be taking care of an ill parent. You never know what people are going through. And the thing that cracked me up is I saw the young lady Shadija. She did a video. I think it was on it might have been on her Instagram page, but it's circulating everywhere now on Instagram, where she was crying and she's like, "I'm such a good person. How could you do this to me?" And it's like, girl, you ruined this lady's life. Something like this can ruin a person's life. You ruined a lady's life, took over her home. She owes probably thousands of dollars. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know if her home's in the process of foreclosure. That's probably, that could be happening. And you have the nerve to say you're such a good person. And then she was saying something about there's no recovering from this, like the damage is just, the damage is done. Like, how do I recover from this? Girl, you got to do some soul searching, because according to the records, this is like your thing. Like, you move into places and just don't pay rent. And it's like, that's wild. And I can't even, and it seems like she's been doing this for years. So I don't know. I was glued to the story. I was wondering if you guys were also as invested in me, or if you're familiar with it. If you're not, just Google DC squatter. It's all going to come up. And let me know your guys' thoughts about it. Okay. Yeah. And again, I'm going to continue. I have more content coming. I'm in the recording mood. Prior to the couple of videos that I've recorded today, the 3 videos, I have not recorded in 2 months. So I care about y'all, and I don't want y'all to give up on me. So I'm going to continue throughout the rest of 2025 and into 2026, bringing you guys some good content. Okay, so everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.